Hey guys, Civilord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Mythic Legion's Reinforcements 2.0 Ogre Legion Builder 2.0. Because earlier we took a look at a dwarf, now we're going to look at something that kind of evens the score on this 2 for Tuesdays edition of the Road to Legions Con. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Ogre Legion Builder 2.0, of course brought to us by the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios. And just a bit of a disclaimer, if you missed out on the first Ogre Legion Builder and you're doubling up on this one, I don't think you need that old one. Because, well, cutting right to the chase here, he comes with the same freaking head. So I ask you, why do you need that old release with the crappy hip joints? I mean, really. That said, in the way of his accessories, he also comes with some interchangeable wrist bracers here, which are usually used with the half-giant characters, more so than not. And then we also have this crazy weapon. You get the axe and kind of the... Is that an axe? And then you also get this extension piece, which if you take the axe here, pop the end off, port this on, like so, and then you can plug the axe head on, and now you have a super long weapon. Or if you want to go nuts, I think you can even pop this off, pop this off, pop this on here, then pop the little spike on. And now you got an even longer weapon, which is freaking taller than he is. So there you go. In true Mythic Legions fashion, a lot of modular stuff here. And if I'm not mistaken, this is only the second Ogre scale figure I've reviewed on this. No, it's the third. I did Equidron, I did Decibalus, and now we're doing this guy. I didn't really get into what comes off of the Ogre figures in the other reviews, because the other characters had a little bit more going on. I'm going to try and address that here during articulation, but just to give you guys a bit of a comparison, here's the only other Legion builder I had handy in this scale. This is the Half Giant, who kind of looks like Humongous from Mad Max the Road Warrior, if I'm being honest. Especially with the helmet and the gear on his torso there. He's got the smaller bracers that this guy comes with. But I gotta tell you, I do really like this helmet. Never did review this guy, so if you want to see a review of him, let me know. But he comes with the same weapon that this guy does. He's got the axe here, although I think I have the axe on the longer handle, but that's the deluxe Half Giant. But this guy, I'm gonna have to tilt him a little bit. He's a little tall, but not too tall for me to bust out the height adjustments, as they say. Utilizes the Archimedes Cyclops head, which I don't have Archimedes handy, but I do have his little hat here. You could throw that on him if you want. Give him a cool skeleton helmet, mohawk and everything. But other than that, it is essentially the first Ogre Legion builder from neck to toe, other than the hip joints, which again work so much better on this. So as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head is on a ball joint. You can tilt side to side, get pretty good range out of that, but it is hollowed out quite a bit, so you can get that range. Shoulders go out to the side. You can pop the arms off at the shoulder. You can rotate And rotate at the elbow with a hinge. You could probably pop out the elbows here if you heat them up. He's got a hinge in the wrist with a swivel there. I will say, if you want to get this weapon in the hand, not give yourself arthritis, this weapon here, heat the hand up. Don't be a dummy. Just be patient with it, and you'll be able to get it in there. As far as the torso goes, he's got a ball joint, a big old honking ball joint that crunches forward and back, rotates side to side. It does tilt side to side. You can pop him apart here as well. The armor unplugs from the back. It's got two little pegs that snap into two little ports on the back. Pretty self-explanatory there. The hips can kick out to the side, back down, forward, and back. You actually can pop the hips off the ball peg there. I would heat that up though, just as a precaution, but you can do it. He's got a thigh cut. I will say the thigh cut, you could pop it off on the original Ogre figures with the problematic hip joints, but I don't know about these new ones. I haven't been able to get those off, so I can only assume they come off because they're PVC and these are, I don't know, ABS or POM, the hip joints here. But again, hair dryer, hot water or something, probably be able to get that off a little easier. He's got a single jointed knee with a swivel below it. I will tell you, lower legs can pop off, but it is a chore. And the knee pads are a separate glued on piece, so be careful with that. You don't want to unglue that. And as far as the feet go, they do rotate. They do hinge. You hear that squeak there, but that's fine. It works. A-okay. And then he's got a rocker there. I think, does he have peg holes? He might not have peg holes. I'm not sure. He doesn't need a stand, but you know, if you wanted to kit him out with one, I'm sure you could rig something up. A clip stand would probably work, but that is the Ogre Legion Builder 2.0 in a nutshell. It's essentially the Ogre Legion Builder 1.0 with an extra head. Not just a new head, but an extra head. So that is cool. And the only figure other than the Dwarf, I believe, and the Knight to be 100% reuse. The next few figures, well actually, the Templar Knight is reused from the Dark Templar. So, not every figure in this wave had new pieces. There's only, I think, a couple that did. But, you know what? For the price I paid, I can't complain. I really like this figure, even though it is just stuff I already got. But, you know, the way they put it together, it just works, you know? That's what the Horsemen are good at. They're good at reusing stuff and having it work and make sense. That said, since we already did a bit of a comparison to that half-giant Legion Builder, let's bring in Brother Mandibulus. And the 11 Spawn, to give you guys an idea of how big this guy is. He's freaking huge. He's not troll big, but he's pretty big. So, with that being said, move right along and take a look. We already did the size comparisons, you fool! And wrap things up, that's better. Wrap things up, some final thoughts. Overall, and as I said before in my Golden Knight 2.0 review that I threw up yesterday, check that out if you haven't already, would really appreciate it if you did. If you were one of the lucky ducks who managed to scoop up one of these all-in sets for Reinforcements 2.0, or intend to pick up the Ogre Legion Builder 2.0 that you see before you, I don't really think you need the first one. I mean, you get the head from the first one with this release, so that kind of scratches that itch, at least in my opinion. And not for nothing, but this guy also has the updated hips. And while I didn't have a problem with the hips on my particular Ogre Legion Builder 1.0, I know a lot of people did have issues with those hips. Not just on that figure, but all the Ogre figures prior to Decebalus, who was the first one to have the new style of hips, which works so much better, if you ask me. So, at the end of the day, you get everything with that previous figure, with this one, and then some, because you got the Cyclops head from Archimedes. So, what do you really need the older release for? Just double up on this one and call it a freaking day, man. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.